A funicular is a type of cable rail in which the car that's going up is counterbalanced by the one coming down. Today, this vintage car is just half the fun.
A ride that propels us back into the 21st century is the Cabrio. It's the world's first cable car with a roofless upper deck.
That means a head-spinning 360-degree perspective for riders approaching the 6,200-foot crest of the Stanzerhorn, more than 4 times the height of the Empire State Building.
Relying on what's considered the latest in cable car design, the Cabrio slides along 2 side-mounted support cables.
If the ride isn't reward enough, a gravity-defying platform on the mountaintop supplies far-flung views reaching more than 60 miles over the Swiss Alps.
A railway journey through Switzerland wouldn't be complete without a trip to the Transportation Museum.
This great tribute to transport is the most visited museum in Switzerland. The Swiss are justifiably proud of their phenomenal success in integrating human invention into the glacial contours of their alpine homeland. The earliest railways, built in the 19th century, were a revolution in transportation that opened Switzerland's previously inaccessible landscapes to scores of travelers. The Swiss soon found themselves playing host to visitors from around the globe. This collection of more than 3,000 objects, including countless interactive displays and simulators, is Europe's largest exhibit celebrating mobility and transportation. Stoked for more adventure? I'm leaving Lucerne in style on another of the country's great panoramic rails, the Golden Pass. Cutting a swath through central Switzerland, the Golden Pass takes me first to the Bernese Oberland region and the resort haven of Interlaken. Then on to Montreux and the shores of Lake Geneva.
While it's impossible to pick a favorite from among the country's scenic rails, this one would have to be high on my list.
It's a sampling of Swiss rural life, viewmaster-like moments captured in time. Sit back and enjoy the ride. There are spans of farmland specked with roaming cows. Then a rush of forest streaked by fast-flowing streams. Finally, the ascent to the daunting Brunig Pass.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was both appalled and inspired by the palpable danger of these alpine hurdles. It was near here at Reichenbach Falls where he decided to kill off his beloved character, Sherlock Holmes.
Most scenic trains offer formal multi-course dining cars like this one, as well as more casual options.
There's something so stylish about dining on a train. I mean, what could be better than a fine meal served against a backdrop of Swiss countryside?
The passing tableaus are hypnotic, like scenes from a movie. Moviegoers have long had a particular fascination with trains. Legend holds that when the French filmmakers the Lumiere brothers put the first train on film, the audience was so overcome by the image of a life-size train coming at them that they screamed and ran to the back of the auditorium.
But movies set on trains caught on. Classics like Murder on the Orient Express, The Lady Vanishes, and Strangers on a Train piqued audience imaginations, and train travel was forever linked with mystery, romance, and intrigue.
This train continues to Interlaken East.
adventure capital of Switzerland, Interlaken is a place of superlatives. On the doorstep of the highest mountains in Europe and reigning over crystal blue lakes, Interlaken is a magnet for adventure seekers from around the world.
Along with an embarrassment of scenic riches, Interlaken's central location makes it the ideal base point for exploring nearly any corner of Switzerland. Outdoor activities abound in every flavor and fitness level.
In winter, there's skiing, snowboarding, and sledding against a backdrop of iconic mountains. In summer, you'll find everything from hiking to sailing, or for the more adventurous, bungee jumping, paragliding, and hang gliding. And there's no better place in the world for it. Viewed from above, it's easy to see how Interlaken, which means between two lakes, got its name.
Larger Lake Thun is to the west, Lake Brienz is to the east, and Interlaken is right in the middle.
And with these two handy and inviting lakes, it would be a crime not to get out on the water.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our board. The Battlestable Lechberg leisure cruise journey.
The Lochberg, a century-old steamboat, patrols Lake Brienz with aged dignity. When it was built in 1914, the ship was intended primarily for tourism, but also contributed its fair share of labor, hauling workers and merchandise from shore to shore. Today, it's been painstakingly restored to bring back the feel of those early days. The ship docks in the village of Brienz, a place that 2 centuries ago found a creative way to put itself on the map. Back then, villagers struggled to scratch out the humblest of livings. But when wealthy tourists began flocking to the area for the scenery, residents found they could sell souvenirs carved from local forest wood. A new industry was born. The Brienz-Rothorn Railway, built in 1892, is Switzerland's oldest steam cog train. Even after most Swiss trains were electrified, this little engine hung on to its old-school ways. It was the city of Bern that sponsored this rail pioneer. Back in the day, the people of Bern saw the success Lucerne was having bringing in tourists, and they wanted to pull some of that action further west. With its spectacular vistas of the Bernese Overland, this became one of the most popular destinations for 19th century travelers. Across the lake, surrounded by massive rock faces, the Lauterbrunnen Valley is one of the steepest in Switzerland. The dozens of cascading waterfalls inspired the name Lauterbrunnen, which means many fountains. Originating in the high Alps, these streams spout so abruptly from the rocky precipices that they often dissolve into near mist before reaching the valley floor. My next stop would have to be a high point on any traveler's list, the Great Jungfrau Mountain.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. The journey to Battenscheid will take about 5 minutes.
From Lauterbrunnen, you catch a cogwheel train to the station in Kleine Scheiding. From there, you board the Jungfrau Railway, the highest train in Europe. The train climbs over 4,500 feet as it chugs more than 6 miles up the mountain. Much of the ride is through a tunnel bored into solid alpine rock.
Completing this tunnel was no small task back at the turn of the 20th century. Hundreds of laborers worked round the clock, and several men died on the job. In one notorious incident, 30 tons of dynamite went off in an explosion that was heard all the way to Germany.
Once Once at the top, all hardships are forgotten as one of the most amazing views in Europe opens out before you.
The Aletsch Glacier is the largest in the Alps and a critical source of water for European rivers and the people of the continent. Sadly, like other Swiss glaciers, the Aletsch is shrinking due to global warming.
Paying homage to the Jungfrau Aletsch area and its unique ecosystem, UNESCO recognized it as the first World Natural Heritage Site in the entire Alpine region. Stifle your fear of heights and climb the steep stairway for a unique view of the glacier.
Ready?
Okay, here we go.
The Jungfrau zipline will hurl you at breath-stealing speed straight out over the massive river of ice. This is one form of transportation that's sure to get your heart pounding and give you an entirely new perspective on life. Deep within the heart of the glacier, otherworldly tunnels of the Ice Palace offer a venue for a local art form, ice sculpting. Lifelike animals glow in blue stillness. Back in Lauterbrunnen, the stage is set for more adventure as I board the aerial cableway that glides 9,700 feet up the megalith known as the Schildhorn.
This cable ride is the most technically challenging ever built. It moves in 4 stages.
Each pulls riders ever higher over precipitous slopes that, in the winter, offer